Well, to answer the last question, I think that the taller athlete always is got the advantage if they can achieve a level of development that fills out their frame, and I think Bumstead has. So Arnold won all those Olympias because he was the biggest, structure-wise guy out there, and he filled his frame out in a sense, at least in the areas which was important back in the 70s, which is the arms, chest, shoulders, back, that kind of thing. Now, and he had a small waist. Bumstead's waist is small because he's got a small waist and he's got broad shoulders. He's got a very good bone structure, genetically speaking. He doesn't have an overabundance of muscle where it has nowhere to go, which is helpful too. And he'll never have a big waist because even if he puts an inch or two on his waist, it'll still look small because he'll probably add an inch or two to his shoulders. And that's just the way it goes. I mean, Flex Wheeler had a teeny tiny waist, okay? It didn't mean that he used less drugs than anyone, okay? No matter how big he got, his waist was still small, okay? It just looked proportionately smaller because he was so, the bigger his delts got and the better his V-taper was. So there's a big genetic component in bodybuilding. Look, I didn't have the best genetics in terms of structure goes, which is what held me back from getting to the pro level and being a good pro. But I was able to add muscle and I was able to get really, really lean, and those were my gifts. I didn't, but I was missing one of the components of being great. The guys who are great have it all. They have the structure, they have the muscle, and they have the conditioning. And of course, presentation is just something you work on and learn. But that's why bodybuilding is so hard, because it's not just hard work. I mean, anyone who works hard can put muscle on and get lean, but not everyone can be a great bodybuilder because of the fact that there's a genetic component that you cannot discount. And Chris has got it. That's why guys can't beat this guy, because he's genetically superior to them, just like the way Ronnie Coleman was. I mean, Jay worked just as hard, if not harder, than Ronnie Coleman, but he was having trouble beating him because Ronnie was genetically a little superior to him. And it wasn't until Ronnie started, having injuries and losing, some symmetry in his back that Jay was able to finally pass him. But Ronnie was already he was 40 years old at that point. So you can't discount genetics. I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's true.